Well, hey everybody and welcome. Thank you so much for being here on our Team Prosperity Wednesday meeting. Today is April 24th, 2019, and I'm very, very excited to be here with everybody. I know Mike's got a great presentation. David's got a few announcements. I've got a few things that I want to cover while people are coming in. The first thing that I wanted to go over is this email that came out just a few days ago on Monday. We're fortunate to get these play card emails all the time. And I wanted to highlight, all these brand new $1 million, $750,000, $500,000, $250,000 earners. This is just in the last few months. And can't wait to see everybody on this call, on this list. So things are, really, really happening. There's always a bunch of stuff that WFG puts out. They have their own convention that we don't actually do. But Financial Literacy Month, I hope everybody's taking advantage of that. It's coming to a close. So let's make a strong push for the end of the year with it. Of course, ExamFX is always giving us all kinds of discounts, and we already take advantage of that, which is great. I wanted to talk for just a minute about Legacy Shield. Everybody that's writing business and that has the All Access Pass gets this automatically. It's definitely on my to-do list to get it done in the next week or two and do a PowerPoint for the group to share. But if you want to jump in ahead and get yours done, definitely check that out. If you need a copy of this email, let me know. As always, there's always a ton of different webinars and things that are coming up from some of our preferred providers, Transamerica, Pacific Life, Nationwide, Trump. So take advantage of those. Let me know if you want me to send this over to you. I'd be happy to do so. The other thing that I wanted to go over today is I've had, ever since I did that LinkedIn training, I've had a lot of questions about, how do we monetize LinkedIn? How do we get the most out of LinkedIn? And this happened this week, so I just wanted to grab a picture and show you. I didn't actually block out their names like I usually do. But here's an example of somebody that reached out to me that they were interested on yesterday, I believe. And when I looked at our string, it was from 2017. So he held on to my email for 2 years. Here's another guy from yesterday, Tuesday. He doesn't remember when we first started talking, but now he's licensed and he's going to be reviewing these 2 videos. But when I scrolled up, our communication was from 2015. 4 years. So you could see, like, when you make a connection with somebody and you're, working on that relationship, you just never know when they're actually going to reciprocate back. Here's another example, most businesses versus our virtual model. Here's the guy that asked me if I need a dentist. I mean, it's just random, right? Like, is this a good marketing strategy versus what we're doing? Congratulating people on stuff. Look, this person watched my video about living benefits and he's interested in getting more information. So just a big difference about how do you market yourself and what do you say to people. So just remember that a big part of LinkedIn is just building out that pipeline and people will get back with you. And my last little announcement here is about the Green Carpet Day. July 19th and 20th, me and Mike are planning to be out there. WealthWave does one of these every month. And, we try to attend once a year, once every 2 years. So check it out. We would love to see you there. And, all the power is within you, so make it happen. And I'm a strong believer of being at the right place at the right time, and we're definitely here. So let me do this. I know that David had a few things that he wanted to talk about. So David, if you want to *6, you can unmute your line. I know you had a few bullet points that you wanted to discuss before I bring up Mike. Go right ahead.
Thanks, Alana. I got it, Alana. Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, wherever you are. It's 12:05. And to my friend Joe, who's up in the airplane and piloting an airplane right now while he's on this call. Amazing. On autopilot. Had a nice conversation with him, doing some really good deeds for people today. Look, I want you to all, what do I want to say? I want you to be aware of a couple different agencies out there who are professing to be who we are or better than us, and you're going to hear it all the time. I just got off the phone with an ABC call with a gentleman from Goosehead who tells me that they're public and they're bigger than we are. And look, I don't even get in the argument with them. In my old days, I would have sat there toe to toe with them. But you know what? I've learned you can't change their mind. If that's who they are, that's fine. I wish them nothing but the best of luck, and I hope he does well. You know, he tells me he has 400 agents and they're all working. I find that hard to believe. I truly do. But that's okay. Everybody spins their tail. Just keep working with this, guys. It has setbacks. It goes forward. It has days that are good. It has days that are bad. It has days that are great. I've certainly felt them all in the last 2.5 years. And things are starting to progress in the right direction again. And all I can tell you is if you're not making phone calls, at least 50 a day, you're not going to be able, you've got to put out 50 phone calls a day. I've got to put out, my minimum is putting out 15 to 20 videos a week. I have to get that done, no matter what it takes. Salesjobs.com is working. And I would suggest that everybody you don't get in touch with, that you do an Excel spreadsheet and put their name and their phone number and their email address, and you can GMAS things out to them. I've got 2 responses. Don't know where they're going yet, but that was after 240 emails yesterday on a GMAS. It does work. If you're using it, participate in it, make good things happen. We are growing and bring the right people in. I got very fortunate, and I'm going to leave on this note, because you never know. And Alana, I would tell her the same thing. I mean, I'm going to follow up Alana. You never know. I had a young man, 31 years old. I think I finally struck a millennial. He happened to be my old accountant, young guy. He was working for another guy. I talked to him during tax season. He said, I can't talk right now. I said, I understand. Why don't you call me after tax season? Well, what did he do? He called me the day after. He was asking me whether he should go back, whether he was leaving his new job because the gentleman was not making enough money with him. He wanted to make more money on his own. And he wanted to know if he wanted to go back to his old place. And I said, listen, I got one question for you. Why did you leave the first place in the first place? He goes, because he's not going digital. He's going to be a dinosaur. I said, well, look, I've talked to you about this before. His eyes are wide open. We're already through tier 4. He came in less than a week ago. We're already through tier 4, and we're going to tier 5 tomorrow. That's the kind of person you want in the company. And I will tell you all this, that I leave everybody at the end of the ABC. My final thing on an ABC is, will you follow a system? Because if you're not going to follow the system, what are we doing? I've spent hours, I know Mike and Alana spent hours, days, and months with me training people halfway through, and they don't want to be in the system. Well, what do we do? What are we doing? It's a system. It's taken a lot of time to develop. And they're working on it. It's getting better and better and better and better and better. And the last thing I got to say is, if you don't believe in change, listen to me while I speak on my birthday, my 65th birthday from Cabo, because I'm going to be on. And my whole talk is going to be about change and what has changed in my lifetime. And boy, I'm looking at pictures from a tricycle from yesterday to a tricycle today, from a bank that was a huge bank of brick and mortar to this Capital One bank with cookies, coffees, and refreshments. What hasn't changed? Everything. The stock market floor's changed. Everything around us has changed. Go to banks now. There are less tellers than ever, and now there are remote tellers with a screen attached to an ATM machine. Whew. Have you watched commercials lately on television? They're introducing the robots to us subliminally all the time through commercials. It's changed. Whether I like the change at my age or not is irrelevant. You all hear me say one thing. If you don't accept change, you will be run over by it. And the biggest thing I can tell you all is I got run over at my 35th year in the furniture business. I didn't believe it. I didn't accept it. I made a mistake. I waited 5 years too long. So all I can tell you is make the change, follow the change. The system is the change in this industry. Again, what Mike always says, and I believe it, we don't compete with anybody. I'm not going to try to. Nobody does what we do. So if you accept the change and you're willing to change, and not go backwards, you will be successful. I promise you that. Whatever it takes to make you that successful, if you just put the time in and never quit, you will be successful. So on that note, I'm going to pass this over to Mike. I wish you all the best. I'm still working on my other project. It's becoming very cumbersome. I'm spending hours upon hours of time putting it together, and I will let you all know when it's completed, and I'll share it with you. Okay? Thanks a lot.
Perfect, David. Thank you so much. Let me go ahead and grab Mike. Bear with me for 1 second.
All right, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. Once again, this is an odd time for a meeting. So we have a lot of what we call part-timers that have other stuff going on, including jobs or other businesses. The recordings are sent out. They're put in the Facebook group, and they're put on the YouTube channel. So we get a lot of people watching these recordings. If you are building an organization, just make sure that your new partners, as they come in, know about this meeting and know about the availability of the recordings. We're also heading into a time of the year where the weather's getting better. People are starting to go outside. People are going to have summer trips. So just expect that typical things happen. Your numbers in your meetings are going to drop. Your contacts are going to drop. The way that you can really fight that spring and summer kind of doldrums is to go on the offensive. And that's really some of the things that I've really tried to do lately with my direct business is not playing defense, not waiting on things to happen, but actually going on the offense, grabbing things, making things happen, opening up conversations, and it works. We talk about, in our opinion, this business model is the convergence of a multi-trillion-dollar industry with social media. If you are using social media and you're actively trying to educate yourself to get better on social media, you're going to find that you will create leads, conversations, business relationships, product sales out of the work that you do, but you can't continue to go down the same path and expect different results. So if you're using social media like 95% of the people out there are using social media for business, it's not working. So we have to get better. I don't believe that anybody in virtual financial is using social media correctly. We're working on getting better. We're going to do that as individuals, as teams, as WAM group members. We're just all going to feed off of each other. So one of the ways, like I said, that you can fight through this spring and summer slowdown that a lot of businesses experience is to go on the offensive. Alana showed you a LinkedIn example. We are heavy on LinkedIn right now. We believe that A, it was a great site to begin with, but B, the way it's changed over the last 18 months or so really falls into being even a more of an advantageous platform for a business model like ours. One of the things I concentrated on for my 12-week year was if I was brand new, what's an activity that I could do to get my business going? And one of us was engagement. So every day I'm on LinkedIn trying to find things to comment on. And I just released a new LinkedIn video yesterday on the YouTube channel that kind of goes through how to find things to comment on as well as just basics of LinkedIn. So this was an article, America's elderly are twice as likely to work now as in 1985. So I just threw in a comment, and this lady replied to the comment, and you can see that right over here. My comment was just right to the point. It's nothing that is earth-shattering. It's nothing that we don't talk about constantly. In this economy, it's hard to save your way to retirement. People are going to find the ability to retire by producing cash flow, basic rich dad, poor dad kind of philosophy that we live by. This guy had one comment right here. It's not, they're lucky if blah, blah, blah. And then this person comes back and says, Mike, I'm interested in talking to you about this article. I'm 66 years old with a new job. I just responded to add you as a first connection. Message me. She reached out. We'll have a conversation. Who knows what's going to come of it? But this is a lead generation or a lead that was generated just from engagement on an article on LinkedIn. So I highly encourage you guys. Yes, the connections are important. The upfront messages are important. The activity is important. But the engagement is the heart of social media. That's where you're going to find a lot of the results that you're looking for is by engagement. And remember, when you're out there, guys, don't overcomplicate what we have here. We have 6 big advantages. And if you can learn to talk about these, not only in the conversations, but learn how to lead with some of these in your marketing, you're going to find it's going to attract the right type of people. You have a huge market advantage. You have a social media advantage. You have a compensation advantage. you have an admin advantage, you have a systems advantage, and you have a technology advantage. If you can learn how to deploy those in your marketing, in your messages to the people that you're speaking with, it's going to open up some better conversations. You have huge advantages here. Learn those and learn how to use those advantages in marketing. Remember, guys, if somebody's looking to build a business, whether it be in financial services or outside, if they're looking to build an online business, they should be taking a look at what we have to offer. Whether somebody has financial services background, insurance background or not, doesn't make a difference. We're looking for entrepreneurs who want to build online businesses. And this online business, we're disrupting one of the largest industries in the world. So a lot of what we have, the tools, training, support, is 21st century compared to the rest of the industry, which is using really old, outdated models, actually old, outdated presentations, language, methods. So you guys have an opportunity not just to establish a business here and establish a lead with a disruptive model, but actually crush the competition. And when you look at that and you get confident in your message, you're going to start attracting the right types of people. We're a digital marketing organization. That's important because a lot of what we do is marketing. So when you're out there, whether it be client or partner side, understand that a lot of what you do is marketing, contacting, and opening up conversations that can lead to potential client product sales, business partners being interviewed for potential positions that we have openings for. You have to become a good marketer. You're not going to escape this business model or not going to build through this business model without becoming a better marketer. And I can tell you that every day I try to improve myself a little bit. And the compounding factor of that over the past couple of years has put me in a position where I know way more than I ever did. And I'll continue to do that. But you can't stay stuck in neutral with the education part of this business. You have to go out there. You have to learn new things. You have to ask questions from people inside the company as well as outside who that you see are doing things right. Our business model is made on getting premiums of $100 to $500 a month. That's the sweet spot for our business model. That's what we try to push out in the distribution model. So it's what we would call, middle class, retail investors, things of that nature. The rest of the industry has pretty much turned their back on those types of people. So we create a distribution model where we concentrate on that underserved market, $100 to $500 a month, and that creates a distribution line of life insurance products that are going, nationwide. So when you look at the business model, you look at the sweet spot for the premium that we are trying to go after, and you look at the market that we are now serving that was greatly underserved, it's an incredible business opportunity, distribution model type opportunity that can put you in an outrageous cash flow position over time. Remember, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you're going to have to work until you die. Same thing with the rich dad, poor dad. If you don't learn how money works, you're going to spend the rest of your life working for money. So the way that you keep up and get ahead is to produce cash flow. You want a $100,000 business, that's $273 a day. $273 is $11 an hour if you have a business that's running 24 hours a day. It's not hard to make six figures when you understand how to create it and get yourself a roadmap to get there. I like breaking everything down into the most smallest compartments I possibly can. What do I need to do right now to fuel my business growth to get me to the month, the year, the quarter, whatever it is, goals that I have for myself. So remember, when you got a free-flowing business where the 100% of it's not on your shoulders, you're going to find that you create leveraged income. And that's exactly what we're trying to produce. Leveraged income, cash flow, where you have an exit strategy you can back away from. You need to digest these kind of things because when you're talking to people, if you can hold an intellectual conversation about virtual financial, the advantages, helping people understand how to use a business model like this to get to their goals and dreams, your conversations get a lot better. Their prospects get a lot better. And the people you have actually come in your organization are a lot better. Instead of just throwing things against the wall to see what sticks, now you've got a defined person that you're targeting, aka that partner persona that we always talk about. You know who you're looking for. You know the message that you're trying to give that person, and marketing becomes a lot easier. Over time, a person who works on distribution over production the distributor should out-earn the producer 10 to 1. Now, we always talk about this. The producer will have a time period where they jump out in front, but once that distribution model catches up and surpasses that producer's income, there's no question. It never looks back, and the difference in what we can make setting up a distribution model versus what we can make setting up a book of business, not even close. It's a 5-year plan, and for those that have been around longer, it's a little bit longer of a plan. But anybody coming in today with where this company's at should be able to learn this business in a year, should be able to build it over the next 48 months to have a very freestanding business where you have leaders that are doing this independently of you, that's got passive cash flow starting to build up and come in. Remember, people are going to come in, and when you talk to people, we always talk about they basically want to know 3 things. Is this real? Can I do it? And what type of help am I going to have? Well, this platform is based on entrepreneurial as well as leadership growth and development. We're a leadership factory. So when people come in, make sure they understand they're going to be surrounded by seasoned entrepreneurs, industry veterans, and successful people that can help grow and develop others. We get paid to do that. So when you look at this, understand the questions that people are typically going to have and how to preemptively help them overcome and answer those by letting them know, people are going to be with you no matter what time length or what capacity you need help for. We're going to be there for them. And understand things to keep in mind. It's a wide territory. There's no territory restrictions. There's no driving around. We've got multiple roles. We're looking for top talent and management trainees. So people are always looking for career growth, professional growth. It's really laid out here to where you can continue to grow and develop and build without a point of resistance for scalability. Financial education, huge problem in this country. You're helping to try to put the stepping stones in place to help solve that for a lot of individuals and families. You get to build an incredible business that will pay you extremely well, but you also have a huge positive ripple effect on the people that you come across and influence, whether it's partners or whether it's clients. You're doing good things. So never forget that and make sure you intertwine that into your conversations because, in the era of social entrepreneurship, we've got a cause that we feel pretty passionate about, guys. Always ask questions. And this is one of the easiest ways that you can control a conversation, even if you're brand new. Even if you know very little about the business, you can control conversations by asking questions. So, these are typical questions. You want to make a database of questions that you have that you can extract information from the other side, because really what you need to know in evaluating a business partner, if you ask the right questions, they're going to give you the information, and it seems like a better conversation than you just talking at somebody, instead talking with somebody, asking questions, showing interest in them, their life, their goals, etc. And you're just writing the notes that you're going to need anyway for that interview. So typical things, are you working from home? Have you been self-employed? Have you owned a business? What type of income are you accustomed to making? What type of income do you want to generate over the next 12 months? What does your dream lifestyle look like? Do you consider yourself as someone who sets goals and works to attain them? Do you have money set aside to start the new business? This is a business opportunity. If somebody needs their rent paid in the next week or so, this is probably not, going to be able to supply that. Now, on the other hand, it will get them into a position where they never have to worry about this going forward if they build this correctly. But immediate near-term income and expense situations need to be handled. This is a business opportunity. It's going to only make things worse if somebody comes in and they have immediate near-term income problems and they don't have a solution for that. Do they have 3 to 5 years to dedicate? Do they understand what's going on with digital disruption? Do they understand distribution? Do they understand how we make more money through building over production? Do they have a positive attitude? Are they serious? Where do they see themselves fitting in? We have an agency building contract with spreads, overrides, renewals. Do you understand that structure? People that understand the structure and understand your business model coming in, it's going to be a lot easier for us to train, support them, and help them be successful. Remember, you're not looking for everybody. You don't get paid to bring people in like an MLM. So you're looking for a certain type of person. And when you understand who you're looking for, it's a lot easier to go out and find that person. We're not looking for people who want to remain in their comfort zone. Change is hard. Progress is tough. And it's a lot of this stuff is uncomfortable. If you come across people who are willing to put themselves out there, willing to become uncomfortable for the purpose and the sole reason of winning, finding the success they're looking for them, their standard of living, their family, those are the people we're looking for. Mindset is a big part of the profiling process. And your growth in your business comes from contacts and conversations. And that's going to be, like we always talk about, setting up enough marketing funnels and doing enough things where you have trickles, not one thing that's pouring in a gigantic amount of leads. Because, A, even if you do have that and things change, and they do, and all of a sudden that marketing leg is not performing like it was, a one-legged stool doesn't stand up very well. You need to have multiple stools of your marketing, or multiple legs of your marketing stool, to the point where if something's not performing, maybe something else picks up the slack, you've got enough going where your results always reverting back to the mean, and you've got a constant flow of leads coming in. When you have a constant flow of leads coming in, you're not putting so much value on each individual lead. Trust me, when you have a small amount of leads coming in, it comes out in your conversations, in your contact attempts. We don't know that, but kind of becomes desperate at a certain point because you're not producing enough leads. When you do produce enough leads, just going through the process of creating and resolving leads and that automatic communication schedule, what you need to do to resolve the lead, you're going to find people like us who understand this, they're motivated, they understand what it takes, and they're willing to do it. And investment in knowledge pays the best interest. I can't stress this enough to you guys. In this environment where everything is changing, you have new things coming, you have algorithms changing, it's very important that you spend time on a weekly basis to educate yourself and deploy that education. So it's it's school learning, the education, and then that's the theory. The practical application is actually going out, finding things that you've learned about, putting them into motion, testing them, and then if it works, great, repeat. If it doesn't, go back, evaluate, reflect, figure out what's going on. Find things that work, beta test them, and then over time you can start putting money into those ideas, advertisements, and scale them. It's really how bad do you want it, and especially during these next coming weeks and months, during the spring and summer, it's all about making sure that you stay dialed in. Your connection process, the engagement process leads to partners, clients, revenue growth, income growth, promotions. All of these things is fueled by your ability to go out there and open conversations. Remember, you need to think like a recruiter, not like a recruiter for like an MLM or a network marketing organization, but think like a recruiter for a business that you're trying to grow. We are hiring, hire the right people, hire character, train skill. And really, when you look at any business, any successful business, and this guy reinforces it, there's nothing more important than hiring and developing people. We are a leadership development factory. That's what we concentrate on. At the end of the day, you bet on people, not on strategies. Yes, we have a great system, we have great infrastructure, but without the right type of people coming in, without the talented groups of people that we need to build this community, it's meaningless. So make sure that you understand. Most important part of what you do is a talent scout. Identify, attract, retain talent. That's what you need to be doing. So what makes a great recruiter? Attention to details, practice makes perfect, and honesty. Don't bring people in on false pretenses. Make sure they understand what this is all about, what they're expected to do, what they can expect from us. Emphasize past performance, future potential. Track your metrics and progress. You have to know if you're doing something, what return off that. Now, it's not always a monetary investment, it's a time investment. Anything that you put forward, you're spending time on, has got to get you a return on that investment. So make sure that you understand what's working, what's not working, and then start to evaluate yourself, change things up, reflect, and eventually you'll have a nice wheel or portfolio of strategies that are working for you. Great communication and follow-up. That's very important. We always talk about follow-up separates the big builders from the small builders, the high earners from the low earners. And in the traditional model, you've got the haircut, you've got clean shave, warm smile, feel of confidence, formal dress, firm handshake, correct body posture, all that stuff that's in a traditional kind of sales model environment, whether it be financial services or outside. Now, what we need to do here to make a good impression is understand what you say, how you say it, understanding your business assets, command of simple technology. an organization of your presentation. So everything online needs to come off with the same type of first impression, which is good, that a traditional model does with everything they've taught, their sales, their management people to do. So understanding what you need to do in an online environment to make that same first good impression is key. For those people who are using outbound cold calls to initiate conversations and try to drive lead generation and partner or client growth, understand you can't shove everything down somebody's throat on a first initial cold call. The whole objective of a cold call is to move from an interruption to a planned conversation or first scheduled interactions. Most cold calls fail to do this because they're trying to wow the person, trying to shove everything down their throat. You're trying just to get them to agree to a secondary conversation in the middle, videos, to make the entire process predictable. So make sure you understand that. Cold call outbound number one, the flow of that is to move from an interruption to a planned conversation. And also, you need to learn what's going on in the company, in the industry, with our partners. Become comfortable with conversations, how to demonstrate value to the people you speak with. Once again, intellectual conversations about this business, about this model, this company, this system will greatly help you. And that's where a lot of this, in the beginning, if you're doing outbound cold calls and you're getting nothing out of it, at least you're getting the rocks out of your mouth. At least you feel more comfortable as you go forward when you are talking to potential prospects that you sound confident on the phone. If they're not an entrepreneur, understand making that jump is going to be scary. But understand you have an excellent opportunity that if somebody's looking to make that jump, they can come into, get a lot of help, a lot of tools, a lot of training, a lot of support to build a business. And realistically, guys, when you are talking to people, when you're marketing, it comes down to two things: understanding your market and understanding my message. Those are the only two things that you have to worry about. And although a partner comes in from scratch, they come in with a great deal of assets, tools, infrastructure, assistance, leadership, direction, etc. Learn how to talk about value both now and in the future. Yes, the future value of having this business built out, cash flow asset, passive income is tremendous. But you have immediate value when you come in with everything you've been given. So yes, the longer term business value is talked about, but you also need to understand and be able to convey to the other side immediately what they're going to get with this business opportunity. Social media is a big part of what we're going to be concentrating on over the coming weeks and months. We're going to learn how to build some funnels that lead down into conversations with people who've already been introduced to your material, either client or partner, and are looking to talk to you further about A or B. Remember, you need to understand what's in your website, but one of the things you also need to understand is you should kind of inventory yourself in terms of your conversations and where you take those conversations, kind of like how your website is. It's got these tabs over here, and you should be able to move a conversation from tab to tab. So, for example, if the business opportunity is not for someone on their side or our side, remember, know how to flip that into possible client base needs, free F&As, whatever it might be. So when you look at this opportunity, virtual lifestyle, our crusade, our assembly line, revolutionary compensation, cutting edge resources, foundation and careers, you should be able to hold conversations that flip through those tabs pretty easily and seamlessly. One of the ways that you do that is go to your website and actually figure out what's there. Remember, if you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. Our videos are embedded with the information about living benefits, tax-free retirement. If you learn how to flip conversations, just a numbers game, especially in that upgrade market, tens of millions of policies that need to be upgraded. If you learn how to flip conversations and learn how to get people, into a secondary conversation about the product side, mostly existing, traditional, obsolete term, just a numbers game. Want more, you got to do more. And that's really what this business is all about. It's unlimited opportunity, but it's very limited opportunity if you have limited activity, and that gets frustrating over a period of time. So you want more out of this, do more, deploy more. Multiply your efforts, multiply the results. Not a hard equation to kind of figure out. It just goes back to the last slide. You want more, do more, crank it up, have effective activity, know what that activity is getting results, and know how to scale that activity for scale results. And whether you're a manager, marketer, consultant, working multiple roles or just one, fight the ignorance, educate yourself, remain curious, keep learning about ways to better yourself. Every time you learn something, deploy that has a potential to put extra money in your pocket and your partner's pockets as well. Remember, success in this business is going to come from leverage. It's leveraged income versus linear income. That's a basic philosophy, but you also have the leveraged ability in leadership here, clients, partners and professionals, products and providers, technology and social media, as well as the tools that we offer. If you get excited about helping other people, whether it's your partners, whether it's potential clients, reach their goals, their dreams, get things that they want to get done, everything else will take care of itself. I get more excited about you guys' success than mine. You don't build a business, you build people. We talked about that earlier, and then the people build the business. So you're a talent scout, and that's important. So some of the things that you want to get in the habit of, you want to achieve goals, not just set goals. Anybody can set goals. It's when you achieve those. Remember, we talk about the brain loves habit, good or bad. It's going to continue with those habits. If you establish good habits, that's why like diets, resolutions never really work. If you establish habits and you change the way you do things, the brain will want to repeat that, and then you are able to get on a much better trajectory, whether it's personal, business, professional, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in life. Don't shit on yourself. We always talk about I should have done this, I should have done that. Just start doing it. Make promises to yourself. Keep those promises. That builds a lot of self-confidence, character, and that's going to come out in the other aspects of your business and your personal life as well. When you're really looking for something, guess what? You find it, and that's anything in life. In this business opportunity, you really want to go for it. You want to pay the upfront price. You want to make it happen because you have the opportunity to create a nice lifestyle for yourself, your family, but also generational wealth as well. We always talk about creating that legacy. And really, confidence, commitment, and the correct tools. That's what your clients want from you. That's what your partners want from you. You want to, for your partner or for your clients, plan for the best and plan for the worst. We don't know what's going to happen, so we want to plan for both sides of the fence. And when you're talking to people, especially on the client side, let me think about it really equals let me stop thinking about it. That's that procrastination factor that comes in. Let me just stop dealing with this right now. I'll kick the can down the road, pick it up at a later time. Our job, we're not going to be rape. We're not going to be little people. Remember, protect our brand, but I call it politely confrontational. We're going to push people in the right direction that we want to see them go because we know what's best for them. Don't chase the quick dollar. And that's probably the hardest thing it is as an individual to learn about is over the long-term potential prospects of this business versus chasing short-term things where it start and stop, projects that last a couple of years or so. I don't care about immediate outcomes. I learned this the hard way from just doing projects earlier in life. What I'm in search of takes effort compounded over a period of time. Financial and lifestyle freedom are not going to fall into your lap. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take some grit, perseverance, sweat equity, all the things that we talk about. Money does not sleep, but it gets bored. And this goes back to our basic overall look of what we're doing to the industry. Innovation is the key that unlocks new value. So when you're looking at money, money moves from sector to sector, industry to industry, but also within the industries and sectors, it moves based on disruption, innovation. So where's my money? Well, it's not a question of enough here. This is not a question of, it's a zero-sum game. Somebody wins, somebody loses. Money itself is not lost or made. It's simply transferred from A to B. We're taking a huge industry where big companies have dominated with a stale model for decades. The digital environment has paved the way for entrepreneurs like us to take market share. Money transfer from traditional to digital, from producer to entrepreneur. The big movement in a big industry. I'm pretty excited about it, and the people that you guys bring on to your organization should be excited about this as well. You can't let somebody put you inside of a box. A lot of people you talk to are not going to understand, not believe, whatever it might be. Small-minded people instinctively do this because they don't see the bigger picture. We call it the herd mentality. The herd is always wrong. If you run with the herd, you're always going to be wrong. If you separate yourself from the herd, create visions, step out of that herd mentality, see things develop ahead of the curve, you will start to come with a basic understanding. You can't compete where you don't compare. I'm not trying to compete in one of the largest industries in the world. I'm trying to change the way business is being done in one of the largest industries in the world. Getting rich is not a fantasy, guys. A lot of people in this country think that the deck's stacked against them. Is it possible? Most people never get rich because they never consider it as a possibility. You've got 3/4 of the population living paycheck to paycheck. 50% have no money for retirement. 40% or almost 50% don't have $400 for an emergency. People don't know how to make money. Fewer people know how to keep it, and almost no one knows how to multiply it. These are strategies, philosophies that streamline down into vehicles that we can offer people, whether it be products, whether it be a business model. Understand, guys, this is a major opportunity. You don't have to have deep pockets to come in and build an incredible business that actually can challenge industry giants. You're going to have some haters along the way, especially as you become successful. People are going to come after you. When you do change, you're going to become a threat to all those who don't. So remember, we talk about people being self-entitled. They don't want to change. They want the world to change just to fit around what they believe. So haters are going to have, having anger towards everyone reaching success. You're going to find that not only in the outside marketplace, but in your inner circles as well. So just expect that. Complaining about your financial future, whether it be you, your partner, your client, never going to fix the situation. They've got to take action. That's a fact. The only way that things are ever going to change is if the person that you're speaking with, whether that be you, client, or another partner, is for them to change themselves. So to make a big impact and make big money, you're going to need courage. And we always talk about this. Be brave, be bold, go out there and put yourself out there. It's important that you understand most of the good things that have happened to you in life come as a result of a brave, bold move you made. It didn't come from sitting on the couch, didn't come from not initiating that action or that conversation. Be brave, be bold, put yourself out there. In this environment with the digital era that we're in, it's a lot easier to put yourself out there. It's not face-to-face. The rejection is a lot easier to take. And really, people aren't rejecting you. They're not rejecting your business model. Most of the time, they're rejecting the fact they don't feel they can do something. The skill set of being in discomfort in your life is a huge advantage. We talked about this. Be brave, be bold, be uncomfortable, put yourself out there. You cannot skip the steps to success. It's a process. Trust that process. And one other thing, guys, virtual does not mean chaotic. Yes, we didn't drive to an appointment. We didn't drive to an office. But we can't get in the habit of letting our partners or our clients just treat that as an open calendar. And you've got a lot of people that will come in that feel like virtual allows them to keep changing things, not being on appointments. Set standards early for what you expect from your partners and your clients. People will fall into line. And finally, don't be what we call the lost colony. Don't just sign people up and forget about them. Keep your spreadsheets, continue the conversations, understand where people are, what you need to do as a manager to help them progress in this company. Leaving somebody out there without good communication, conversation, and without an effective structure of your team to understand what's going on, people are going to drift. When people start to drift, they start to quit, and all that upfront work you put into recruiting, headhunting, training, supporting is going to return nothing for you. So understand, you're investing time, energy, resources into people. That doesn't stop after a tier 6. Unreasonable leads to great things. That is, the United States of America, that's the vision that got us here today. Quit being reasonable, defy the odds, change your thinking, don't compare against the average. And as other people slow down during the next coming weeks and months for spring, summer, yes, take some time to enjoy it with your friends, family, but understand while other people are slacking off, it's an excellent opportunity for you to come in there and really continue to do what you do, put the pedal to the metal, have a great spring and summer, but also set you up for a very dynamic and, a great fourth quarter of this year. So that's what we have for today, guys. If you guys have any questions, concerns, clarifications that you want to talk about in the open market right here in the open forum for the team, go ahead. If you need help on a private basis, let us know that as well.
What a great training by Mike Amos. Thank you so much, Mike. I really got a lot out of that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the recording and we'll open up the floor. Thanks, guys and girls.